Oh, there we go. Good morning, folks. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Cabinet. I would like to start today actually by holding a 1 minute silence. It's just in respect to all the victims of Sunday's attack on Bondi Beach. Just so that my thoughts and prayers are with all those affected in that attack on Sunday. Can I hold 1 minute, please? Thank you. Thank you. So, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the final Cabinet meeting of 2025. Sitting here in the chamber this morning, I want to take a moment to briefly address the events which unfolded here just last week. As councillors, we are elected by the people in our communities to represent them, to champion Staffordshire and to deliver more for the people of this great county. This is a terrific honour for us and for every county councillor. The strength in democracy is that everything has the right to debate, to disagree and even to protest at times, but this must be done peacefully and to allow for due process. I have already made it clear that racism and hate have no place in this council or this country. But I want to repeat that today, and our focus must be on bringing people together, not on division. Staffordshire is a great county with great people, great businesses, great locations. It's one of the things that makes it such an amazing place to live. And you all know how proud I am of Staffordshire. This morning we have a jam-packed agenda, focusing on some of the most important issues for our residents and businesses. After 7 months of scrutinising the details of council services, the challenges to the status quo, to ask, is there a better way? Our plans are coming together. As you will see today with the environment strategy, replacing the climate emergency with a broader, more practical commitment that sees business supports with energy efficiency and green spaces protected and improved. We'll look at our new SEND strategy, co-production, parents, care children, professionals to make improvements, find solutions in situations where eligible for support far outstrips the funding provided of national government. We'll review our local transport plan. We set out how the councils can connect people to friends, family and opportunity. For all of this is tied together, we first look at the new strategic direction for the council, the vision which sets out ambitious plans to make Staffordshire the beating heart of the country, protecting our heritage, countryside, promoting economic growth, creating safe, vibrant communities. These plans and the council staff working so hard to make them a reality are key to us delivering on our promises to Staffordshire's residents. They are about the fundamental council services that makes a difference to people's lives. You only need look at the Christmas period to see the dedication of our staff. Social work teams will carry caring for people who need us. Our winter highways crew will keep the roads moving so you can get to where you need to be. Whether that's a Christmas dinner with family, friends, work or something else, I'm sure you'll all join me in thanking them, as well as the Staffordshire's army of volunteers and carers and our wider public services for their efforts. And to all of them, I wish them all a happy Christmas. I have just realised I've taken it slightly out of order in doing that. Please forgive me as it is the first cabinet having to lead. I will now have to go onto the agenda. Firstly, do we have any apologies?
Good morning, Chairman. We have two apologies from Councillor Mason and Councillor Hunt.
Thank you. Are there any more apologies? Declarations of interest in accordance with Standing Order 16. I would like to declare a personal interest. Family members who work within the SEND provision do not believe this affects anything that is being read today. Our leaders' update, as I've given right at the very beginning. Decisions notice of the meeting held on the 19th of November 2025. So, I move the minutes of the meeting held on the 19th of December 2025 be signed as a true record. Is that agreed? Item number 4, as I said, I did the leaders' update right at the very beginning. Item 5, minutes of the meeting of the Property Subcommittee held on the 19th of November 2025. I move that the minutes of the meeting of the Property Subcommittee held on the 19th of November 2025 be received. Is that agreed? Thank you. Item number 6, Staffordshire means business. This falls to myself. First, I'd like to give an update this morning on the inflation figure that was released this morning has fallen down to 3.2%, which is good news for business, although certain costs of living, food and energy still remains high. I do hope governments with their policies will continue to release the pressure on inflation that will help everybody. But as always, I'll start off by the latest findings of the number of people claiming universal credit who are required to actively seek work. The claimant count in Staffordshire saw a decrease of 615 claimants over the last year. The total number of claimants in the county now at 15,005 or 2.8% of the working age population. This means the claimant rate in Staffordshire remains significantly lower than both national rate of 4% and the regional rate of 5.3%. The number of young claimants in Staffordshire, however, has seen an increase over the year of 250 claimants and now stands at 3,310. The proportion of young people in Staffordshire aged 18 to 24 that are claiming work-related universal credit is currently 5.3%. This also remains lower than the national average of 5.8% and far lower than our regional rate of 7.9%. Overall, it is a positive that both claimant count rates in Staffordshire remain below the national average and are amongst the lowest across the West Midlands region. Supporting people to start and grow a business is a key part of what we do at the County Council. Since 2021, we have supported over 4,000 businesses to start, survive, thrive right here in Staffordshire. However, we identified a gap in the growth-focused support for businesses aged 2 to 5 years old. In response, we've launched a Growth Ladder project to provide a tailored next step for business ready to scale up. In our first year, this programme supported 33 businesses on their growth journey, providing them with an enhanced level of support across businesses, consultants, to help them develop their plans. In the coming year, our intention is to provide a larger growth programme, including bespoke one-to-one support, so that we are continuing to support the businesses that need it most to grow and succeed. Small Business Saturday was at the start of the month, and we played our part in encouraging residents to shop local and support the small businesses that make up nearly 90% of our economy. We took the opportunity, as part of Small Business Saturday, to remind our small business owners of the extensive range of support for businesses we offer, which is easily accessible and can make a huge difference to productivity and growth. I'd therefore urge all small businesses to get in touch with our Growth Hub, whose details can be found on the Stoke-on-Trent and Staffordshire Growth Hub website, or by calling 0300 111 800 2. That's 0300 111 8002. Who are happy to help advisors and to support both. And we're here partners to help them. Don't forget the business support in Stoke-on-Trent and Stafford Growth Hub. I advise all businesses, please take a look at this. We offer a great range of services that can really benefit and help you going forwards. We're, of course, hugely proud of the many world-class companies that call Staffordshire home. I just want to briefly highlight some of their fantastic businesses and the recent achievements in growing both their own enterprise and the wider Staffordshire economy. Burton-based company T3W recently made their mark in Trafalgar Square, delivering a bespoke 14-metre covered stage for major events, including McLaren Racing Live. Their work was completed in just 3 days, overcoming challenges of weather and with the company earning praise from the professionalism and sensitive planning. T3W have also supported several other high-profile events this summer, including shows by Ed Sheeran, Black Sabbath, Oasis, ELO, as well as providing crew for the F1 British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Innovation also continues to thrive within our county, and SI Group has recently opened a state-of-the-art European Innovation Centre at Four Ashes Business Park in South Staffordshire. The centre will focus on research in plastics, rubber, strengthening Staffordshire's position in global research, development in advanced materials. These plans and the council staff have worked so hard wrong. I seem to have, there it is, sorry. Tourism in Staffordshire continues to grow from strength to strength, and we received a record number of over 150 entries for our Tourism Awards, which will take place in March, with 43% being first-time entrants. Our heritage and creativity will also take centre stage to the world. My apologies, I do seem to be reading from that's part of the beating heart, isn't it? Oh, now it is correct. Sorry, my apologies for that. Our heritage and creativity are also taking centre stage with the World of Wedgwood and VA Wedgwood collections, recently being featured on BBC Antiques Roadshow. This is not only one of our museums, but to be in the spotlight and receiving well-deserved recognition, with the Tamworth Castle Museum having recently been nominated for several prestigious Midlands Museum Awards. Our tourism sector is already worth £2.7 billion and supports around 25,000 jobs. And next month, we'll announce our ambitious plans to grow this further at our big tourism conference. Finally, in my last economic update of the year, I must mention Christmas and the many events and activities that are taking place across the county for people to enjoy. The National Memorial Arboretum's Illumination Arboretum has returned with a refreshed 1.5-mile route and new installations themed around the 1945. Commemorating the end of World War II. Sugar Estates is also bringing Christmas magic to Staffordshire with traditional displays, family trails and performances by Lichfield Cathedral Chorus, welcoming families from across the region. These are just a couple of examples with events taking place across pretty much all of our attractions, whilst pantos are being performed and Christmas markets taking place across all of Staffordshire. I'd therefore like to encourage people to check out, visit Staffordshire website, see what's happening across our great county, and really enjoy the festive period. Thank you. Item number 7, Staffordshire, the beating heart of the country's strategic direction 2026-28. I'll be presenting this report. Members may indicate that if they wish to raise questions and should respond as necessary. And I'll come to you in order on any questions on this. The beating heart of the country is our vision for 2026-2028. We are proud of Staffordshire's past, but even more excited about its future. This vision sets out our ambitious plans for the next 2 years and beyond, to deliver real improvements where they matter most for local people. Our strategy will position Staffordshire as the beating heart of the country, protecting our heritage, our countryside, driving economic growth and creating safer, thriving communities. We are determined to share Staffordshire's story far and wide, attracting investments and boosting tourism. This plan is our commitment to listen, act and deliver. We will empower communities, support innovation, and make sure every pound is spent wisely, from giving children the best start in life and supporting families to championing local enterprise and caring for our environment. We want everyone to thrive. We believe in decision made close to home, shaped by the voices of our residents. By enabling local people to take the lead, we will ensure services reflects the needs and aspirations of every community. Our focus on practical solutions, improving roads, digital connectivity, fostering safer neighbourhoods and investing in skills and opportunities for all. With clear priorities, a commitment to doing things differently and the determination of our people, Staffordshire will remain the beating heart of this country. This sets out our strategic direction for the future and for all we do. And today is the first look as it moves through the democratic process for approval in February 2026. I'd like to put forward that this document is put forward and approved, unless there's any questions. Councillor Lodge.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to make not a question but a statement. I'd just like to thank the officers and all the cabinet members that have been involved in this strategic plan. I think it's really exciting and it's simplified, it's focused, and it affects the people of Staffordshire, and that's the goal that we set out. It affects how we live, it affects how we drive, and it affects our day-to-day lives. From my part, the economics and the money is all about focus and goal of delivering a balanced budget, reducing the costs, maintaining and improving the services to the people of Staffordshire. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Lodge. Any other questions or points you'd like to raise?
Thank you. No, I'd like to agree with that. There's been a lot of work that's gone into this. Obviously, from my own perspective in my cabinet, the countryside that we sit in at the moment is really important, and we're going to be putting that on the map more while caring for it and making sure that every footprint that's made has some economic growth with that, so we can protect our land and future-proof it while people enjoy it.
Thank you. Any further points or questions anybody would like to raise? I just need to mention, and you've shown a couple of the points raised, this is a collective document. It's not just done by one, it's done by all. It's done by all of our, not just our cabinet leads, but all our councillors. But more importantly, with all the officers involved in all their departments. It's a collective piece of work, really to represent Staffordshire. And we firmly believe this is going to be a great piece of work going forward that will really represent Staffordshire and make our county thrive. Thank you. Item number 8, the Environment Strategy. Sorry. Can I approve those recommendations, please? All those in favour, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. That will be approved. Item number 8, the Environment Strategy. I'd like to invite the Cabinet Member for Connectivity to present this report. And obviously you may indicate for questions after it's done. Councillor Miners.
Thank you very much, Chair. Again, I would like to thank the officers and teams involved with this. There's been a lot of steer from the Cabinet as a whole. I think we all have very interesting views on this to make it a success and make it work and direction for Staffordshire. So it's quite a comprehensive plan that we're wanting to do, and it's going to be approved, going through to approve next March in 2026. So again, we would say we've heard about the beating heart of Stafford, how important Staffordshire is for us, the connectivity. There's overlap with other topics today about local transport plan, but we are custodians of our rural and built environment in the Staffordshire County, and it's our commitment to preserve and enhance Staffordshire for everybody to enjoy. So we want to create a Staffordshire where communities are proud to call Staffordshire home, where nature thrives and people feel empowered to shape the future of this beautiful county. A number of parish council meetings that we go to in our areas, we hear this all of the time. People are quite involved to make sure that the villages and communities that they operate are going forward in a safe and efficient and happy manner. So we also want to take some action, again, to make sure, work with the residents, the businesses, the public bodies to drive some meaningful change here. So the new environmental strategy that we're formulating here is built around 8 key priorities, which we believe reflects the practical environment progress is also economically sound. I'll say again, it's also economically sound. So I won't dig deep into each of these. They're available for the public to see as we move forward with these. But roughly, we're going to reduce the Staffordshire County Council's overall environmental impact, ensure services and communities can adapt to impactful weather, support economic growth. Again, we say support economic growth. It was very interesting to hear about what Councillor Murray is saying about the tourism conference coming up and highlighting about Tamworth, highlighting about Wedgwood and all of the other tourism events that we have in Staffordshire with £2.7 billion worth of turnover. We also want to support affordable, reliable energy. We also want to assist in multimodal transport in line with economic growth. We'll be discussing this later in the local transport plan about that. And we want to work with our partners to deliver innovative actions across growth, transport, energy, buildings, waste, and environment adaptation. So we want to also have a look at proper environmental action. I think there's going to be some discussions also to steer this about environmental crime. That's been happening a lot around Staffordshire over the last couple of years. We've been looking at that and developing strategies for that. So the environmental implications here for the Staffordshire Environment Strategy is here to set out how the Council will protect and enhance our environment, embedding objectives across the service delivery. We have to say how we can deliver this, strengthening organisational resilience, supporting innovation, and promoting environmental management, energy efficiency, development of local energy generation to reduce costs, and the reliance on external markets. By enhancing local environments and supporting healthier, more resilient communities, and strategy delivers clear environmental, economic, and well-being benefits for Staffordshire. There's a list of a few background documents in the appendices, which is the environmental strategy and the overview, and there's a copy there of the scrutiny report from 17th of November 2025. I can take some questions before I ask just to approve this outline, if there's any questions from anyone.
Thank you, Councillor Miners. I mean, we've gone through this several times. It's informal and within our own cabinets and scrutiny. Does anybody have any questions? Councillor Scree.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Councillor Miners, how will you guarantee environmental crime is recognised as a priority? And what will you put in place to ensure that all our partners share accountability for addressing this?
Thank you very much, Councillor Screen. As we're delivering this environmental strategy, we've realised we want to pull environmental crime into this. Especially, it's highlighted even in other counties. There was a huge environmental crime that happened in Kidlington in Oxfordshire recently, where there's tons and tons of environmental waste have been deposited there. Perhaps the council were busy looking at other things and took their eye off that. And even in Staffordshire, there has been historically, and even now, large number of environmental fires. Oil has been spilling into the rivers in Stafford. There's been incidences up in Cheadle, I believe, of environmental crime. So we actually also want to work with the Staffordshire Sustainability Board. They've been working over the last 3 years about the environment, and we also want to now refocus, make it objective, and cross-check and build on that, and make sure that environmental crime is recognised. And we crack down on this. In Cabinet recently, we also mentioned there was 2 questions about nitrous oxide canisters as well. So all of these things now we're trying to pull in and working with your team to pull it into the environmental strategy, Staffordshire Sustainability Board, and even other portfolios as well. Thank you.
Do we have any more questions? I would
like to recommend that we approve the notes for the environmental strategy, and notes an environmental action plan aligning with the environmental strategy is being prepared and will be submitted to Cabinet in March 2026.
Is that agreed? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. We'll put that forward as agreed. Item number 9, Staffordshire Local Transport. Again, I'll invite the Cabinet Member for Connectivity to present the report. And obviously we'll raise any questions thereafter. Councillor Miners.
Thank you very much, Councillor Murray. We'll be here till Christmas next year if we read the whole of the report. So again, I would really like to thank the officers. This has gone back and forward with a number of our Cabinet members to look at the strategy here for the local transport plan. It was last done in 2011. There's many appendices in this. It's a very interesting document, and we have gone out to the public as well to make sure we get their view and their input on this. But I have got some notes and highlights I would like to say about the local transport plan here. One is the fact, if we mentioned the overlap with the visitor economy, we want people to come and enjoy Staffordshire, visit here, visit Tamworth, they're already visiting Alton Towers and enjoy Staffordshire, bring their families here to stay, and they need to travel through Staffordshire. We want to look at the Staffordshire Digital Innovation Strategy, digital technologies as we move into the next generations of technology. We want to look at the highways infrastructure and asset management plan. We've been looking here at the traffic and network management plan, looking at local cycling, walking infrastructure plan across where we live in mostly rural communities. We're looking at the bus service improvement plan. The transport plan is also evidence-based. There's appendices in here that talk about that. There is also a number of money involved here with 5-year investments for transport, 22 million of capital, 80 in revenue funding. There's a road network, again, similar with the capital money and revenue funding. That's all detailed in the report if you dig deep into the granularity of the report. There is also about walking, cycling, rights of way, promotional activities. Again, 43 million, 20 million, 14 million capital. There are options for residents and businesses, jobs, services. The plan has to be continually monitored, updated, and be cost-effective. I'll highlight that again. The plan has to be continually monitored, updated, and cost-effective. We've gone back to the public consultation. There's a number of pages in there about the public consultation. We noticed that the number of people who were talking about this was perhaps in the most really retired people. We want to try to find a way to bring the young to engage in what's going to happen in their transport. So they stay here, they work here, they have opportunities to buy houses, settle, and move around Staffordshire. There is an asset management plan, recycling, bus improvement plan. Integrated impact assessment is on page 100. There's 14 objectives in that alone. Also, if we pull in some names here, these have sometimes been nightmares for people at the moment. The travel, M6, A50, A38 West Coast Main Line. 66% of people in Staffordshire work in the district. There's high levels of movement between Stoke-on-Trent, Newcastle-under-Lyme, Staffordshire Moorlands. We also looked at the Household Travel Survey 2023. That's in one of the appendices. Staffordshire and Stoke-on-Trent is working on a joint strategic transport statement. This was agreed in March 2025. There's a vision. Also, there's something going through central government. It's called the Integrated National Transport Strategy, Reference Planning and Infrastructure Bill, in March 2025. These are all the things that we have to keep updating and look at and check and work on spatial development strategies. There's an interesting one which has been in the news recently, page 148, looking at traffic delays on our major roads, how traffic flows through the county. There's also parts of this on page 171 about costs, bridges, footways, carriageways, embankments, drainage. So again, we have to look at the long-term vision. Again, on page 243 is what's happening. There's vehicles, low-emission vehicles, high levels of public confidence with use. There's a great number of things, I believe, in this report. There's parts on here about low-emission vehicle, where that's heading, the bus industry, capital funding of 12 million, Midlands Growth Corridor. There is also the monitoring and evaluation, how we look at that and pull out the data. We want to do another household travel survey in 2031. But drawing to a conclusion, there's 37 KPIs that we're reporting annually, but we want to go back and look at this quarterly to look at some of these KPIs. I'm not going to read the 37 KPIs, but I've highlighted about 5 here, which seem to be of interest to most people in a generality. So one is looking at air quality management areas. Are they improving? What they call them AQMAs, that's air quality management areas. There is looking at the level of traffic delays, looking at local roads, are they in good condition, bad condition, and monitoring the level of this, giving it a point. There is a number of people satisfied with the road conditions. Number of bridges in good or versus very good condition. Are folks satisfied with the routes taken by heavy goods vehicles? And also looking at the publicly available electric vehicle sockets as we move into perhaps a new area of technology in our cars. So I'll open it up to any questions before I outline whether everybody would like to approve this transport plan. If there's any questions, I'll take those now. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Councillor Coles.
Thank you again, Councillor Miners, and all the officers for the hard work that's gone into this, because there is pages and pages, and we have gone through this in a lot of detail. It's really good to see that over 90% of people have engaged with this, agree with the vision, and they're supportive. And I do feel that Staffordshire can be very overlooked for transport, and we do feel a bit disconnected. So obviously this is great news for all the people in Staffordshire. I'd just ask, how will we measure the impact of the plan on the residents of Staffordshire going forward, just to make sure it is helping them, it is going in the right direction?
Yeah, thank you very much, Councillor. So I think it's important we talk about 2 things here, perhaps, is a visitor economy, so people coming into Staffordshire and also people that are working here, living here. So I think the vision and objectives, we can pull this through in our quarterly report, what is happening, the feedback of what people feel about living and what value they're getting in Staffordshire, which roads are coming, it overlaps with house building, there's a multitude of things. The main point as well is, are we going to get this £1 billion worth of investment from central government? If we can't get that investment from central government with this report, then everything will trip over their shoelaces on here. So I think it's the vision, strategic objectives, and the strategies that we work with the communities. And again, I think we have to go back to the local villages, because we're a rural community, and deliver and show this to people at parish council meetings and let them share it with local residents and churches and such things. We need to work with the press, we need to work with our comms team to show people that we are working, we're here to help people of Staffordshire. I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Any more questions? Councillor Lodge.
Thank you. Councillor Miners, thank you for that. And I think it's refreshing, and some of the key points that we've got in the plan are excellent, very pragmatic approach we're taking. I'm sure you'd agree with me that one of the big areas is our highways, and our first part of the highways was the decision that we took about getting the utility companies around the table to free our highways up, to enable our transport to keep moving. One of the biggest headaches for Staffordshire people, whether they're in cars or buses. And I think the second point is about our bus services. It's a big point for us going forward in the next 2 years, along with our local train companies, to connect all of our towns so that people can get around Staffordshire more easily. And I just wanted to confirm that with you as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Large. Yes, I agree with you and concur. Even this morning, there was a highlight about £3 billion worth of funding coming from the central government, and we've checked with our officers, and we immediately have a spreadsheet within a reply within 20 minutes of where that funding is coming for Staffordshire, and that will be we will share that with people as we go through work with the local transport plan. You also mentioned roads there. I think we have done some work here recently with a roadmap to a better network. I recently shared this document here with some of our local parish council clerks, and they were quite amazed and said, can we share this? Can we put this on our local, their website and share that? So there's a Staffordshire Highways, a better roadwork to the network. So I think, yeah, engaging with people, talking to people, going out to the areas, looking at, recently we went to Cannock and look at some flood remedial plans, leaving your computer and going out to see and work through and see actual areas in Staffordshire, I think is quite important. Okay.
Do we have any more questions?
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to ask Councillor Miners, with the recent decision of the EU to abandon full ban on new petrol and diesel car sales by 2035, and instead impose a 90% CO2 reduction target, might affect the UK transport strategy and our automotive sector. My first question is, how might this shift the influence of the UK automotive manufacturers like JCB, Toyota, etc., and their investment decisions regarding EVs, electric vehicles versus internal combustion engines? My second question, could UK policies be adjusted to maintain momentum towards zero-emission vehicles, or will we follow the EU's more flexible targets? My third question, sorry about this, the last one, what are the implications for our charging infrastructure plans, clean air ambitions and transport decarbonisation goals? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is very, Councillor, this is very fresh news, I believe, as we saw. And I have quite full confidence in our officers working on this. As today, we saw an element of £3 billion worth of funding with the buses. We believe our officers are on top of that, but we have to engage with the Cabinet, with our officers to discuss these. Particularly as your relation to your first question, I think we talked about even JCB is looking at hydrogen engines as well. We need to engage, work with that, go and see businesses, discuss manufacturing people, and people, a lot of people are employed in that in Staffordshire. So that's, again, we can pull that. Now we have a focal point perhaps to pull that into with a local transport plan to engage with business and share this with business, not so it becomes a live working document with businesses and discuss particular nuances in here. There's already engagement in a number of areas across 40 various things, NHS tolls, county shows, network rail, across this all document gathered in one place. Your second question was about the policies in the EU. Again, I refer back to today where we spoke with the officers if policies are changing. I think they're quite on top of that, looking at what's coming through government white papers and when they're being affected. Again, pull it all through to the local transport plan and keep on top of that. And again, charging infrastructure, that's quite a good question because, we are going to here look at the policy and cross-check how many electric vehicle sockets are available in Staffordshire. We also wanted to make community hubs with that. And we have to be on top of this to see what's the demand driven and how the technology moves at the same time, balance that and have these regular quarterly meetings about that. I think it's quite important. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions, points to raise? Would you like to...
Today, approve the local transport plan, its vision, objective, strategy, and the local transport plan will be a guide to transport and highways investment in Staffordshire. Thank you.
Is that agreed? Any opposed? That be agreed then. Item number 10, Special Educational Needs SEND and the Alternative Provision, Strategy for 2026. I'd like to invite our Member for Educational and SEND to present the report. And of course, we'll be open up to questions after this is finished.
Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Higgins.
Thank you. Morning, everyone. As Cabinet Member for Education and SEND, I'm pleased to introduce Staffordshire's new Special Educational Needs and Disabilities, SEND for short, and the Alternative Provision Strategy for 2026 to 2029. It's a strategy shaped by the voices and experience of children, young people, families and professionals across our county. It is built on a foundation of shared ambition, lived experience and a commitment to doing things better. SEND is a deeply personal and often emotive topic for many in our communities. We understand the challenges families face in navigating a complex system and the pressures professionals are under to meet growing and diverse needs. This strategy is our collective response, a commitment to focus our efforts where they can make the greatest difference and to work together to improve outcomes. How we got there? This strategy has been co-produced with over 900 individuals, including children and young people, parents and carers and professionals from educational, health and care. Through surveys, community events and digital engagement, we've listened carefully and used that feedback to shape every part of this strategy. We've heard about the frustration of delays, the impact of poor communication and the need for more inclusive environments. But we've also heard about what works, the power of supportive relationships, the value of early help and the difference that inclusive practice can make. What the strategy sets out, the strategy outlines 3 clear priorities. 1, timely and consistent support so that children and young people get the help they need when they need it. 2, listening to and supporting families. Embedding co-production, improving communication across the system. And 3, nurturing inclusive environments and best practice. Equipping professionals with the tools and confidence to meet diverse needs. These priorities are supported by a robust delivery plan overseen by the SEND and Inclusion Partnership Group, with progress reported to the SEND Strategic Effectiveness Board. Our commitment. This strategy is not just a document, it's a shared commitment to placing children, young people and families at the heart of everything we do. It's a commitment to work collaboratively across education, health and care, and to remain responsive to national reforms, local government changes and the evolving needs of our communities. We know there is more to do, but this strategy gives us a strong foundation built on lived experience, shared ambition and a commitment to continuous improvement. Its success depends on the capacity and resources of the partnership, including the Council, the Integrated Care Board and wider stakeholders. While we cannot promise to fix everything, we can promise to focus our efforts where they are most needed and to work together to deliver meaningful change. I will take any questions before I ask for you to recommend this.
Thank you. Councillor Rogerson.
Thank you, Councillor Higgins, for that. As we are aware, there is many challenges in Staffordshire that are similar to up and down the country that they face. What are we doing about this, or what is that area doing?
Yeah. Thank you, Councillor. We're working nationally to improve, obviously, what we can do here. But we're not the only council having problems. So we're also working continually with MPs. I have regular meetings with MPs to let them know what we're doing locally and ask for their support nationally. I've asked them if they can support us at government level with asking for fairer funding for Staffordshire children. All children in Staffordshire need the same opportunities as other counties, and we're way down the list of funding. Asking government MPs to lobby government to get a fairer like a more structured ECHP assessment process, and also to lobby government to make a more fair, inclusive education curriculum.
Thank you.
Any more questions? No.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, Councillor Higgins, thank you for that. It's clear that young children, parents and carers have been involved in this development of the strategy, but how can you ensure, or how will you ensure, that they remain involved in its delivery?
Thank you, Councillor. Once the strategy launches in January, we'll set up a series of virtual engagement sessions open to everyone who's contributed so far. These sessions will provide updates on progress, highlight key achievements and discuss ongoing challenges. They'll be hosted by our Head of SEND and they will be important in the further delivery of this strategy. And that's where I think this strategy is so important, because it's making sure voices are heard. We've had so many issues with families saying they're not heard. Well, this strategy will give them a platform to share, let us hear what, their voices. So that's what we're going to do going further in the future.
Thank you. Any more points? Councillor Mason.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very interesting, Councillor. I would like to also highlight, because we're in this room today, recently there was a debate held in this very room with a school from North Staffordshire in here. It was very interesting, and the debate was about what people thought of AI in schools. And you could see from the teachers, they were bouncing enthusiasm looking at the students debate this in this chamber. And so we're bringing in a tour of the building, history, and a debate. So I'm hoping next year perhaps we could do the same perhaps with some of the children from more challenged schools, to do that, to help build their confidence and happiness and go around this building. Do you think that will be possible?
I would welcome that opportunity. I'm all for developing young people's confidence, and any opportunity like that would be very much appreciated by the schools and by the young people. So we'll work together in doing that. Thank you.
Any more questions or points to raise? Councillor Higgins.
I'd like to thank everybody who's contributed to the development of this strategy. It's been hard work, and the team have worked hard, and especially the children and young people who shared their stories and the families who trusted us with their experiences. This strategy has been through pre-cabinet and it has been through scrutiny, and everybody was very happy with it. So I commend this strategy and ask you to support in approving it so we can begin the important work of delivering on its promises. Thank you.
Is that agreed? Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Move that forward. Item 11, commissioning of care home placements. I invite the Cabinet Member for Healthcare to present the report, and we'll be open for questions afterwards.
Hi, thank you, Chair, and thank you to the Cabinet for listening to that short speech I did last week on it, but it was important that we saw the meat on the bones. I can assure you that I've managed to chop that down to 309 pages now. But I would say, joking aside, this is important, and I want to put these key points today to move for agreement. The Council funds care home placements of more than 3,000 people. It is important that we offer good quality care and at the price that the taxpayers can afford. In January 2025, the Council approved a commissioning plan for care home placements that included ongoing quality of improvement, support with recruitment and retention, new arrangements for procurement, a new contract and a sustainable pricing strategy. The first recommendation that I make today to the Cabinet is to approve the development of new arrangements for procurement, care home placements, based on a framework with light touch flexibilities, and delegate authority to the Director of Health and Care in discussion with the Cabinet Member for Health and Care to finalise these arrangements and award contracts. What this will do will enable the Council to continue to buy care home services for a list of pre-approved providers on preset contract terms. New care home providers to join us at appropriate times. Competition at the point that placements are made. A choice of placements to be offered to people with the option to make a top-up payment where the price of their preferred choice of care home exceeds their personal budget. The second recommendation is that Cabinet approve the pricing strategy for care home placements for adults aged 65 and over. The pricing strategy is based on the Langboyson, if I pronounce that right, industry standard price range, and local care homes have been consulted. And this would mean that new care home placements would normally be made below the median of the Langboyson price range for the relevant lot. Annual discretionary fee reviews would focus any funding available on existing care homes and the placements there, and below the median of the relevant Langboyson price range. Care homes for adults aged under 65 do not have equivalent industry standard price range, and so the Council has been undertaking a cost of care exercise. The third recommendation is that Cabinet note the emerging findings from this cost of care exercise and delegate to the Director of Health and Care, in discussion with myself, Cabinet Member for Health and Care, the authority to finalise the pricing strategy for care homes placements for adults aged under 65. The Council has developed a choice policy to support the implementation of a sustainable pricing strategy. The choice policy sets out people's entitlements to a choice of council-funded care service with the aim to allow people choice and control while ensuring that this is affordable. The Council has also developed a top-up policy to set out people's entitlements to make a top-up payment where their preferred choice of care home placement exceeds their personal budget. There has been extensive consultation with the public and staff about the choice policy and top-up policy for care home placements. And the final versions have taken the responses into account, in particular to the limit search radius for care home placements within 20 miles of where people live. The fourth and fifth recommendation are that the Cabinet approve the choice policy and the top-up policy for care home placements, with delegation to the Director of Health and Care in discussion with myself, the Cabinet Member for Health and Care. The authority to make any necessary amendments or clarifications and to extend the top-up policy to other care services based on the same principles. The Council owns 2 care homes for older people, Meadowriff in Tamworth and Bracken House in Lichfield, which are operated by our local authority-owned trading company, Nexus Trading Services Limited. The final recommendation is that the Cabinet approve an extension to the contracts with Nexus Trading Services Limited to operate 2 council care homes and to delegate to the Director of Healthcare, in discussion with the Cabinet Member for Healthcare, the authority to finalise terms and conditions, award contracts and agree property lease arrangements. And before we move to the decision, if there's any questions.
Councillor Lodge.
Thank you, Councillor Rogerson, for that short version. It's very much appreciated. I'd like to ask the Cabinet Member for Health and Care if any major decisions that are going to be made by yourself and the Director of Health will be brought back to the Cabinet for consideration before the final decisions are made. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, I'd like to assure the Cabinet that anything that is under discussion or review will be brought to the Cabinet prior and during. But thank you for the question.
Any further questions?
If I could move for the Cabinet to approval of the statements and that I've just made.
Can I ask, is that agreed? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. That's agreed. Item 12, forward plan. These are the items for information. In item 12, forward plan lists the matters coming forward before Cabinet and decisions of the next few months. Are members happy to note the contents for the forward plan? Thank you. Final item 13, exclusions of the public. I move that the public be excused from the meeting for the following items of business, which involve the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined in the paragraphs Part 1, Schedule 12A, as amended, of the Local Government Act 1972. We do have one item exempt in relation to waste management retaining to disposal of sweeping. So I will indicate when that is okay to proceed, if we can move. But on this one, what we'll do, we're going to take a short recess and reconvene to hold the final piece. Okay? So thank you all, and we'll take a short break and reconvene. Thank you.